Today we are going to do one very exciting topic, that is rebirth. In fact, I never thought that I would do a topic of something like this. This is the book that changed my outlook on life after death. This is Surviving Death by Leslie King. Surviving Death by Leslie King. I was really shocked by the things mentioned in this book. I knew that there were certain important things in parapsychology, but I didn't want to go in that direction at all. But what this book did was, this book was a kind of a objective summary of many developments of parapsychology, particularly in relation to life after death. So, since I don't have to do any extensive research, and there is a book which is giving a summary of the state of research, so I thought I should read it and then prepare talks on this. So, Leslie King is responsible for our series on Afterlife. Okay. So today's topic is rebirth. But when we do rebirth, it may give the impression that we are going back to religion and then we are justifying many things said in the religion. But it is not really like that. So, I want to say, first of all, what we do not mean before we cover what we mean. Take Hinduism. Let us first discuss the role of rebirth in these religions. Hinduism. Man born, body one, and then he does some karma, and this karma God judges. On that basis, he can go to heaven, can go to hell, or rebirth status. Depending on karma, God can allocate a particular rebirth status: upper caste, lower caste, rich, poor. And then there is end to rebirth, which is called moksha. This is what Hinduism says. Rebirth status gives rise to body 2. And then body 1 and body 2 have something common, that is soul. Lord Krishna explains in Gita that there is a soul, and soul picks up bodies, B3, B4, like this. So this is reasonably accepted outlook in Hinduism. Okay. But we are not accepting all these things. We are not accepting soul. We are not accepting karma, nor God, heaven, hell, nor rebirth status, end to rebirth. No. We are only saying that there is rebirth. That's all. All these things are not assumed. So, if there is an evidence to rebirth, it does not mean there is an evidence to all these things. This could be a fiction. I believe it is fiction. Take Buddhism. Buddhism doesn't believe in soul, doesn't believe in God, but it believes in karma. And as a consequence of karma, an entity in heaven, an entity in hell, rebirth, kind of rebirth, all are influenced. And there can be an end to rebirth because of nirvana. Which means Buddhism is proposing rebirth without somebody, God, overseeing this. So Buddhism believes in karma as well as rebirth. Karma deciding the kind of rebirth and end to rebirth. But we are not saying even that. What we are proposing to say is that going by empirical evidence, but no theory, going by empirical evidence, but no idea of theory, there is rebirth. That's all. No soul, no karma, no God, no heaven, no hell. There is rebirth. And another difference is that Buddhism and Hinduism may propose all have rebirth. But empirical evidence doesn't say all. I mean, we don't know if it is all or only some. Empirical evidence suggests that there are some cases of rebirth. That's all. It doesn't suggest everybody is reborn. We don't know. So, in all these ways, evidence is different from the religion. Now, I want to give a reasonable theory, and also that theory is a way to look at things. Plus, what do we mean by evidence? How can there be an evidence for rebirth? What do we mean by evidence? So what is the meaning of evidence and theory? Number one, theory. And number two, kind of evidence. theory is what I am proposing. Let us look at this. We have seen that body 1 has mind 1. This is there. We have also seen that mind 1 not confined to the body. Mind exists, can exist outside the body, not just can exist. Mind is not confined to the body, is what is proved through its ability to deflect electrons. Mind is a field. That's what Global Consciousness Project very clearly proves. So, mind is a field and outside is proved experimentally. That the mind is not confined to the body can be proved at any time. Experimental proof. Next thing is, there is body and M1. What happens to the mind if body dies? Mind we know exists outside, but when body dies, will the mind that is outside will survive, or simply it will also disappear along with the body? If it disappears along with the body, it means mind is operating like a magnetic field. North-south field. Magnetic field cannot survive when there is no magnet. Magnetic field is around the magnet. But if it survives even after, if mind survives even after the body is gone, then it means the mind field is not like magnetic field. So M1 may have been generated from B1, but M1 can independently survive. But it can survive does not mean it always survives. Maybe M1 survives under certain conditions. So, these are the possibilities. B1 dead. Then M1 simply disintegrated. Gone. That's one case. Or M1 exists and enough of M1 to create consciousness C1. Which means after death there is mind, or at least a part of it, but enough of mind to create consciousness. This is meanness and this is memory. This is an extremely radical proposal, but which seems to be empirically true. It is shocking. Which means that after B1 is gone, there is going to be M1 and C1. Which means there is a memory and sense of meanness. Definitely you can call this Spirit 1. Shocking. Now look at what it means. One girl explains about her past life death in a fire accident. Past life death in a fire accident. Fire engulfing, scared, ran to find out her parents, but they are not there. Then she was being consumed, painful, and suddenly there is no pain. It is a relief. This is the report. Which means that when we die, it may not be that there is nothing, but that only our body dies. Death is, strangely, is freedom from body. It is a liberation from body. Memory stays. We can't say everything of the memory, but reasonable. And the idea of me also exists. So you see your own body. You may want to touch, but you can't touch anybody. You may want to shout, nobody will listen to you. It means that after death, you become a spirit. And there are people who watched their own funerals. One girl in Thailand, Jim Tucker says, wanted her remains to be buried under one tree, but she was unhappy that they were scattered, which means she was watching. And later, investigations showed that her daughter did want to bury under the tree, but the tree developed so many branches and roots that she thought scattering would be right. The point is not about burial or scattering, but the point is spirit was watching all these things. Which means death does not mean the end of consciousness, the end of memory. So, from life one or body one, Spirit one comes. Spirit has everything, or most of the things, minus the body. And spirits meet other spirits and live for some time. And spirits choose a womb. And a boy explains why he chose his mother, why he found that they could be good parents. and some have even memories of the life within womb. One boy asked, "Mommy, I was trying to come out. Why was the doctor pushing me?" Mother explains, the doctor was pushing you because you were coming in the wrong way. Oh, boy says, okay. See. And then they report some things between one rebirth, between life and rebirth, which are called intermission memories. Okay. So, life is very, very mysterious. See, these are all our diagrams, possible theories, but what we know is through evidence. What is the evidence? From this womb, body too comes. The kind of evidence that is gathered, it all started by Stevenson, Evan Stevenson, from University of Virginia. Okay, unit was set up in 1967, and that unit is now called Division of Perceptual Studies. Division of Perceptual Studies. Stevenson died recently, and now Jim Tucker is the one who is involved with these studies. Stevenson started, but many others picked up. Okay. The evidence that is gathered is running into hundreds. See, the kind of evidence, first of all, is like this: body 1, body 2. This B2, boy or girl coming out, child, should give the details of life of B1, his past life. This is present life, and this is past life. So the child should give his memories of the past life, memories that are verifiable. Stevenson started this, and as of now, this division has around 2,500 cases of rebirth, out of which 1,400 solved. Solved means past life identified, details matched. Unsolved means child is reporting there is so much truth in it. Okay, children report minute facts, and they are so emotionally attached. You can see they are not lying. Okay, but the things that they say may not be verifiable. For certain things to be verified, there should be proper names, places, or major events. So, child may have an emotional experience which may be unverifiable. So, some cases remain unverified, which are called unsolved cases, and some cases are solved. 1,400 cases are solved. And what this university does is they maintain a statistical data about, take case 1. How many facts are reported? Facts of previous life. How many are verified? How many are found to be true? Not true. And for the verification, who are the witnesses? Like this. This is nothing but science. Except that we don't know the theory. Science is nothing but systematic and objective investigation of facts. Science does not have to mean coherent theory. Theory is a kind of a guesswork. So, scientists do not know how, but scientists do know, I mean, if you call this is a scientific method, that these are verifiable. Eliminating fraud, fantasy, whether the child already knew or the parents knew and told the child. So eliminating so many things, very rigorous method is used. Okay, so kind of facts. So for each case they will say these many facts, 20 facts, 30 facts, 40, 12, like this. Facts and witnesses. Okay, so systematic research. So most of evidence is about previous life and the method of death. Very rarely children speak about the things after death, and when they speak after death, again they have to be verified. Okay, so anything they say after death and before rebirth, verified. So objective evidence is in terms of what children report and is it corrupted data and can it be verified? How much of it is verified, unverified? So on every data they produced comparative facts, comparable facts, so that they want to arrive at certain generalizations regarding rebirth. So, rebirth seemed to have reasonable amount of objective evidence. Okay, we will discuss some cases. Okay, let us take some examples of reincarnation cases. This boy was born in 1998 in US. This is a typical case. Children, this is a child rebirth, child case. What they do is they start speaking certain things around 2 years or about 2 years. Most of the time they talk these things when they are in a position to talk, that is, they learn they have enough language to talk. And he was talking some strange things. And often when they talk about past life, it is not simply giving some facts. It is about emotions. Emotions. And this boy had nightmares. He would get up with frightening dreams. Parents didn't know what to do. And constantly talking about an aircraft. He was there in it, and it was shot, and finally there was fire, and he died. He was obsessed with this. Okay. And then after some time, he would give some details. The man who died was James III. Incidentally, the same name. And he would give details of which aircraft, from where it took. It took part in World War II, shot down by Japanese. And he would always play with aircraft related, and he would be so knowledgeable about aircraft. And he would draw so many paintings. So nightmares, emotional, and a sense that something happened to me, something happened to me. A kind of consciousness continuity, Okay. Then first parents didn't know, and then slowly they thought they should verify, and then so many things that this boy talked about turned out to be events related to a person by name James Houston Jr., killed in 1945 during World War II. So many details matched. So how would this boy know anything about this boy during when he was 3 years? How would he know about? And so many details he gave had to be checked with experts, and lot of research had to be done. It is not that he read a story or he watched a movie and thought it was he who was killed. It was not like that. Okay, so this is one case. And finally, this is a solved case, and this man's sister was there, alive. And this boy meets his sister of previous life, and they exchange certain family secrets also. Okay, so only when he got to know his past life memories, and he also visited the place exactly where he died, and the boy cried for so much time, reliving that death experience. And then only after that there was closure to his emotional trauma. So this is one case, very clear case of rebirth. Take another case, Ran, born in 2004, US. So this boy had an impression that he was very rich, and his house had swimming pool, and he was acting in movies. He had wives and daughters, and his parents didn't know what to do. And when they were watching a movie called Night After Night, 1932 movie, this boy showed one character in the movie and then said, "See, it was me." And parents wanted to prove that it was all fantasy. But then they went about investigating, and they went to Hollywood, and then he was not a famous character, and in that movie he didn't have any dialogue also. It was one small role. And this case came to Jim Tucker. Jim Tucker also was involved in investigating, and Rand's mother maintained a diary of what all the boy used to say. And because the photo he identified was of a minor character, they didn't have any details. But much later, further investigations showed that there was indeed one person by name Matty Martin, and died in 1964. Okay, at the age of 61. And this boy used to say, "Why should God take me when I was only 61 and then bring me back as a boy?" So many details that Rand gave matched with Matty Martin. Okay, it is true that he was rich and his house had a swimming pool and he was running an agency. Many details matched. And the author says around 55 facts matched. Okay, so he met family of the past life. He met his daughter, Matty Martin's daughter. Okay, and so like that, again family members met and family secrets shared. See, what investigations try to find out is that, is this boy fantasizing? Are the facts verifiable? Or how he may have got these facts? Are they from any source? From friends or from family members? It's like that. And then, so when the child gives the facts which could not have been known except to very intimate members, then they won't include the facts. So this is how the investigations are conducted. In one India's case by what was the name Uttara, born in 1941, this is a very strange case. Those two are children cases, and Stevenson has most cases of children. So usually children report, and children are more likely to report, and parents recognize them as past life memories when there is a tradition of acceptance of rebirth, which is there in South Asia. So Stevenson says many cases of rebirth are reported in South Asia, India, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and these places. But rebirth cases are being reported all over the world. It is simply in terms of frequency. After Stevenson's work became popular, more and more American cases are being reported. So mostly they are children, this one. But also adults also have past life experiences. So how can adults have past life experiences? Usually children have past life experiences, and then after some time, when they lose childhood experiences, they lose past life experiences also. For example, we can't say what we were doing age 3 or age 4. We may remember from 9 years, say 10 years, but not 4 or 5 years. So we lose childhood memories, and when childhood memories are lost, past life memories also are usually lost. So past life memories have to be recognized and written, otherwise we lose. But how do adults remember? So it seems in certain adults' cases, past life memories are there at an unconscious level. Okay, so which means even we may be having past life memories, but an unconscious level. And sometimes psychiatrists are able to get these memories when they do hypnosis. Okay, so when, for example, psychiatrist notices that person has phobias and certain tensions, and the origin cannot be traced to the present life, or the patient brings out certain memories which are not related to the actual experience in this life, so psychiatrist suspects that these memories must be from past life. So in that sense, many past life memories came through analysis. Okay, which means past life memories are there at an unconscious level, and which are coming out under certain circumstances. And in this case of Uttara, who was born in 1941, why this case is striking is that suddenly at the age of 32 years, she was Marathi, she started speaking archaic Bengali. And then she started giving life details of one woman who lived long ago. And as Uttara, she didn't study Bengali at all. So this was a shocking case. This phenomena is called xenoglossy. So person speaking a completely different language. So a Marathi woman is speaking Bengali language, that too an outdated form, and giving details, and finally it was traced to a woman who died in 1830. Okay, more than a century. Okay, so this case of speaking a completely different language was shocking, but they found along with the language many other details of her life changed. Her thinking, because for example, as a Sharda, she was not in a position to understand things like tape recorder. Tape recorder was there to Uttara, but it was not there to Sharda. So when she was Sharda, she would say that there must be a witch in this equipment. She was not able to operate modern equipment at all. So in fact, some people thought maybe ghost possessed Uttara, but this position was eliminated. Possession hypothesis was eliminated because unconsciously Sharada was there in Uttara. It seems that Uttara always liked Bengali heroes, Bengali movies. So, and then fear of snakes. because Sharda died of snake bite. Phobias is one very important issue. So more reasonable explanation was that Sharda was there unconsciously and then came out under certain circumstances. But later, after some time, Sharda left, but now and then she would come back. This again is a past life experience. Okay. So, past life experiences are studied in terms of reported feelings and facts and verifiable to some life in the past. So this is how literature about reincarnation is generated. Okay. And we will see the implications of this to what we are and how our personality is shaped because of our past lives, if they are. Past life seem to be guiding us in many ways. For example, if we have phobias, it could be from past life. It seems in the 52 cases of drowning, 52 cases of drowning to death, 43 people have developed fear of water. Okay. Anyway, many past life memories are reported when the death itself is sudden and violent. So there is a uneven representation in these past life cases. So this is one. Drowning leads to fear of water. So it means, and also interests. Even personality, hobbies. Okay. And shockingly, Stevenson wrote a book titled Reincarnation and Biology. Stevenson's book. The book says that not simply psychological content of hobbies, interests and personalities of past life impact the present, but even body is impacted. Birthmarks of the present body have something to do with the past body. But then the bodies are not being replicated. How can there be birthmarks? Isn't it surprising? And some striking cases are reported. So like this. One Indian boy by name Lekpal Jadhav. He lost his fingers of his right hand in a fodder chopping machine. Fodder chopping machine. His right hand fingers are lost. After some time he died and reborn nearby. And you know, his right hand has only stumps. There are no fingers. So In previous life, fingers chopped off. In the next life, fingers not developed. One case. In another case of semi tutism. He was shot dead. He was killed by a shotgun blast to the right side of his head. Right side here. And when he was reborn, he was born without ear, and also entire right face was affected and left side was normal. Strange case. Another case, he was killed, he was shot dead and bullet pierced through his head, and marks are made on the both sides of the head, very sharp and small when it is piercing and larger one when it is coming out. Okay, so even biology is affected. But how do you explain this? I think from those cases we can put forward a theory like this. B1 has M1, mind. We know from Damasio's theory, mind is closely managing the body, coordinating, bringing up. Now there is a B2. When B2 is being developed, it is not M2 or only small of M2. This M1 is coming plus M2. M1 may be a bigger part, M2 is small, or almost M1, which means mind of the previous body is shaping body 2. Right side wounded, trauma, and mind is fixed with a memory of the previous. So it is not able to, or its processing of this part is affected. Because what is mind? It is simply body images made and coordinated. So, which means body 2 to begin with is a kind of a potential. Anyway, extended, there are studies which show that there are physical resemblances. Between body 1 and body 2, which means that a lot of M1 went and M1 is bringing up body 2 in a particular image of itself, that is of body 1. So the idea that we are made up of only genes and everything is coming from genes is not true. Genes are one thing. Definitely, body 2 got its 46 chromosomes from body 2's mother and father. There is no doubt about it. But the way they developed seem to have been influenced by M2, M1, previous life. I think there may be an interface between M1 and M2, and if M1 is very strong, a physical resemblance is created, and if M1 is not strong and M2 role is there, maybe M1 will leave traces of fears, hobbies, and something of M1. That is what I say. I am just thinking of various possibilities. Okay, so which means some remote influence of or indirect influence of past life to entire body developed in the image of the past life. This much of variation is possible. All this may be a function of how strong this M1 is. So I believe, as Stevenson said, that psychology textbooks talk about socialization and genes. Stevenson says these two are right, but add third factor, past life. Many times this past life can explain ourselves. Maybe what I am doing now, though all through my life I was educated in technical things. My formal education is in technology. But why am I obsessed with these things? Could be past life. Like that, try to look within yourself. Strong interests, hobbies, life missions, all could have been by past life. Because the difference between socialization is something that we can explore, but difference between genes and past life influence is that genes cannot be specific. Genes are not so, a specific interest is not carried through genes. So, this past life as a factor has to be, can be taken into account in explaining any phenomena. Let us see a thing like homosexuality. Homosexuality. Genes may suggest XX. Okay. XX. XX should have female mind. But suppose male mind comes. Male mind comes, but female genetics. And male mind is the past life. Then male mind wants female, but she is biologically a female. So this leads to attraction towards same-sex, lesbianism. So homosexuality can be due to incompatible past life. But of course, this is female mind, then there is no problem. In most of past life experiences, it is the same gender, but sometimes gender switch takes place, and scientists explain that in cases of switch, children say, no, I am actually not a boy, I am a girl, or things like that. So cross-dressing is seen in some cases. And now take transgender. XX is genetic, and this mind, male mind, wants to do something related to XY. So if you are going by birth defects, if when fingers are cut off and in life thumbs are produced, then the female to female organs, some disturbance will take place to the development of female organs, then transgender is likely. Okay, so many possibilities exist, and so we need to take past life as one very important indicator that shape our thinking. Okay, so look within yourself for influences of past life, and when you understand, you may think that there is more peace in going by what you are basically born. For example, that boy who was a pilot before was interested in those things only, similar things only, and it's also found certain child prodigies because of the past life. For example, Ramanujan's interest in mathematics, it couldn't have been genes, nothing to do with socialization, so it could be past life. So musical talent, sports talent, so one needs to pay attention to what one is, and that may be a result of past life. So that gives us a greater understanding of ourselves. We may like to do them, and we may be happy when we are doing them, and that may be more of our destiny. So this past life dimension definitely adds to our understanding of what we are and what we can do.